And that's why people follow you. But let me share the screen and bring in the great Raj Twitter, because this little soundbite is one that I think is really, really good. And you can only find it at Raj's Twitter, which is RSF49ers. Here's the great kids. Oh, here we go. Let's roll this back. This is Kittle on the Debo show talking about the Chiefs. Listen to this.
It's gonna be an outstanding matchup. They undefeated, I think, still.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
Playing at a high level. Niners playing at a high level. Yeah. I think it's a great matchup.
I mean, Mahomes is Mahomes.
Yeah, for sure.
He's amazing. Kelsey just decided to get really hot like the last 2 weeks.
I know, bro.
I know. So, he's
your guy.
Travis is amazing. Yeah, I love Trav. But so they've got that working out. They've got some major injuries on their team too, which is, but they're still finding ways to win. And that's the hardest thing in the NFL is finding ways to win. Anytime you have Mahomes and Kelsey, though, you're probably going to find a way to win. And then I would also say this is probably the best defense we've gone against this season. That's what we've talked about already in our tight end room. And they have a lot of really good playmakers out there. Chris Jones is an absolute monster.
Definitely.
And can't leave him one-on-one. He's going to probably get an Aaron Donald treatment where you just always slide to him, get 4 hands on him 24/7. Yeah, I can't wait. These are the games that you play football for. This is it's a game of the week. Yeah, Tom Brady talking about it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be really fun.
Your team captain had this to say about the matchup this morning.
Fred Warner.
Yep. The Chiefs are undefeated this year and still at the top of their game.
Yep.
They still got 15 back there. I have yet to beat him. I have played against him maybe 4 times now and have yet to beat him. I think it's an important game for us to try and get over that hump and get the win.
I'm definitely with Fred on this. I just said,
that's a good quote.
I haven't beat him either. But 15 is a heck of a player. At any moment he's liable to do anything possible. And it's I don't like referring back to Super Bowls, but rookie year we up and Pat Mahomes just go do things Pat Mahomes does. And the 2-minute drill in this past Super Bowl is just Pat Mahomes doing Pat Mahomes things. But, you got to give him you got to give him his flowers. Man.
Yeah,
got to give him to him.
Yeah, when you have 3 Super Bowl wins.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
There's no argument.
No, not an argument.
There's really zero.
There's no argument at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
He's great.
It's gonna be an outstanding matchup.
I think I'm gonna puke.
I know. They were just too nice to him.
That was syrupy.
I know. They were glazing him. They were glazing him, Larry.
What about the old days when people were like, we're gonna fuck them up? And we're gonna show up and we're big and we're bad and we're bold and we're gonna kick some ass and take some names, and that's right, No. Instead, everybody's like, hey, he's good. They're really good. That guy, Trav, buddy.
Buddy.
Everybody loves everybody a little bit too much.
They glazing them. I think the problem is
for my taste. I know I realize I'm a dysfunctional person, but for me, I'd like it if they were a little bit more just a little bit more like Niners Cowboys from the old days, where it's we don't like those guys and they don't like us.
I don't like the Niners.
I don't like the unbelievable, ridiculous, over the top respect. I'm not saying they don't deserve the respect. Let's not confuse that, right? Mahomes deserves all the flowers, as Debo said.
Yeah.
But just a little bit of you know what? It's not going down like that anymore. Is there anybody that can kind of put their? It's it reminds me of that segment. Reminded me of the Niners run D. Nobody puts their foot in the ground and stops anybody.
Yeah. I think the problem is, Larry, especially nowadays, is social media. Because if they would have said anything negative, it would have got taken away. It would have been bulletin board material. I think, especially Debo, because he does talk a lot. I think he wanted to be a little nice and say, we're going to give them their flowers. And, at the end of the day, Niners did lose to them in Super Bowl. And I feel like if the Niners would have said something nasty, which they should have, I think they would have been like, hey, we want revenge, da-da-da. It would have been a bulletin board quote. And then everybody in the media would have said, well, they beat you for the Super Bowl ring. So they got to acknowledge it. But it does. I think the word you used, syrupy, was it. It was just it was over the top. You can say something sickening. Nice. But it was it was forced. It was oh, yeah, it was weird. It was a little weird.
Give your opponent some respect and then put your foot in the ground and say, but you know what? We're tired of that. And it's not going down that way anymore. Somebody.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't have to say it. Maybe you just got to go do it. Maybe that's it. And this, okay, this is Kittle on Purdy. This is also from, this is also.
I was doing my other show earlier, so I might have missed it. I haven't seen it.
This is Kittle on Purdy. I think you're going to like this. This is pretty good. Let me share the screen on this one, and you guys can check this out, or you can check it out. All you guys can. Here we go. Bottom of the screen.
I think
Here we go. Same pod, Debo's show, and Kittle's the guest. Now Brock Purdy comes up.
But what do you have to say about people that maybe still aren't bought into your quarterback and Brock Purdy?
Rocky?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we've gotten to the point where a majority of like the talking heads or the majority of people, the actual like analysts who watch football and have played football and understand football, I think they're all on the board of like, yeah, he's a pretty damn good quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you have the people out there who are still hating on him for no reason. I mean, like you look at, it's crazy too, because like I think Brock is he's a victim of the moving of the goalposts. Like all the time. Like they're like, oh, well, he doesn't do this, or this. And then when he does all that stuff, it's like, oh, well, it's because of Debo, George, and Ayuk. Well, then he does it. Hey, he like led the league in like his yards downfield, all this stuff. And me, Debo, didn't even play in the game. It's like, well, what are you complaining about now? Oh, he's a check down merchant. I'm pretty sure he's leading the league in air yards. So it's just like,
what dog?
Like what else do you want him to do?
They're gonna find something at all times.
And also, like, yeah, I mean, like, hey, has he had a bad game? Sure. Quarterbacks have bad games. Like, love Josh Allen. Like, he's had a game where he's had 3 picks before. Like, you don't like roast the guy for that because most of the time he plays at a super high level. So it's just like, all right. Sure, he had like I think Brock's had 1 okay game this year, but besides that, he's played elite. So it's
yeah.
Like,
no, for sure.
Full transparency, I was one of those people. I fully doubted him last
I'm out.
No, stop. I swear. No, but last season it was early. I kind of felt like, okay, things are looking good, but this is a healthy team. There's a lot of weapons. Like I was giving more.
What about the season before that when he came in with,
as a rookie?
Snaps, like of anything.
I think what I expected last season,
exactly.
what my take was, which was fully wrong, and I'm live right now admitting that. Was that I thought I would see regression from him. Like I thought he had that really great season and I was like, I don't know if this is going to last. And I mean, he silenced me. He shut me up because every time I watch him play,
Brock.
Yeah,
Brock. Great job, Brock.
You really can't argue with what he does out there. But I have to be honest, I was totally one of those like, I don't know if I'm bought into it just yet.
Are you all the way bought now?
How can you not be?
All right, say less. We good.
I mean,
that's
genuinely.
Fine. Yeah,
I've actually
we were about to show you out.
No. I have genuinely taken to my public social media platforms and like apologized.
Round of applause for Liv.
Yeah, listen, I had to tuck my tail and admit defeat on that one.
He's pretty good.
But what do you have?
Good stuff there.
I like it.
Raj, what'd you think?
Yeah, no, I love that. Kittle's great, man. He's always good with the media. I love Kittle, and he always goes to bat for Brock Purdy, and he's right. I think the biggest thing he said there, which I've been saying, is the media loves to move the goalposts. If he does something, then they go, oh well, he's got the yak. Oh well, like Kittle said, there was games where Kittle and Debo didn't even play, and he's still making great plays. He's still moving the ball down the field. He's got the most air yards. He's not a check down merchant. Everything the media tries to do that's against him, they always pull these weird stats out, and then he goes and defies those stats, and then they try to figure out, I don't like Brock, so what am I going to do this week? I got to find another goalpost to move, and that's it. That's literally it. If they hate on Brock, they're just haters, plain and simple. So I love what Kittle said in that.
I would just say that every team's different every year. So I mean, first of all, the thing on Brock, I mean, come on. If you don't see that he's damn good, then you probably just don't see, lots of things on a football field that you probably should. Yeah. He's really, really good. He's fast. He's faster than you think. I mean, let's just say this. To play quarterback in this era, you need, I think, to have mobility. Why? Because the athletes on defense have never been greater. They've never been faster. They've never been bigger. They've never been more explosive. So if you're trying to get away from those guys, you have to have mobility. You cannot be a pocket passer. Jared Goff's a very good pocket passer, but in any singular down that a defensive coordinator wants to take the ball and just ruin his day, or take the reins and ruin his day. It's just he doesn't have any mobility. If you force him to move, his accuracy goes way down. He's not nearly the same guy. If you force him to move consistently, then starts making all kinds of mistakes. He doesn't like to play that way. So that's in the modern game with defenses and athletes the way they are. You have to have mobility. All of the best players at this position now have mobility. There's nobody who's just total. Even Tom Brady, knows. Hey, you know what? You can't just be. He had good mobility within the pocket, but even so, I mean, like there's not a lot of guys like that. Mahomes can move. Allen can really move. Brock Purdy can move. Lamar can move. These guys all can move. Jaden Daniels can move. Michael Penix, when he gets out there, he can move. So that you gotta move. You gotta be able to move. As far as this matchup, and Brock can move, and he's accurate, and he plays on time, and he takes care of the football, and he's got great competitive fire, so he's better in clutch moments. And he shows up for the right reasons to win. And he plays no favorites with his receivers, so he doesn't get into these little pissy fights with guys over the ball and that kind of thing, because he's a true pro, you know what I mean? So he doesn't have a favorite guy or anything. His favorite guy is the guy that's freaking open. And that's an important thing. I don't think people talk about that enough, but how you cultivate your relationships with your wide receivers is a huge part. You just heard Debo and Kittle, two of his receivers, defending him there. So, they know, these guys know who's good. They know who's not good. So that's all that really matters. I mean, the bottom line is they're winning, and he wins. And a lot of people say, oh, winning's not a quarterback stat. I'm not one of those people. I think it is. And I've talked to many, many of the best personnel guys through the years, and they all wanted to know what was his record in college. That's not like, oh, by the way, it's like that is one of the things they want to know. And that's why a guy like Mahomes, who didn't have a good record in college, probably turned off some people, because it's like, oh, well, we didn't have a good record in college. Like, oh, okay, well, that's not good. That might be one of the reasons that one of the greatest collection of physical talent fell in the draft a little bit, based on the fact that he didn't play well in college. Anyway, what do you think as far as last thought? What do you think as far as a game plan? I look at the Chiefs and say they're 20th in pass D. So this isn't the same team that you played in the Super Bowl. That team had L'Jarius Sneed. This team doesn't. This team's got McDuffie not in the slot, and they've got a different corner in there. Now he's playing decent, but he's not Sneed. So I would say the Niners, definitely have to come out and show they can throw the ball on Kansas City. And then the Chiefs are mid-pack against, or I should say defensively, they're fifth against the run. So they really do shut down all these runners. And I looked at all the box scores. Like 45 yards is like the most they've given up to like one of the rushers that went against this year. So they really held Kamara down in the last game. I think he had 26 yards.
Yeah.
So can the Niners run the ball? I mean, that's going to be a big thing. Well, I mean, that to me is huge. And then for the 49ers, to me, it's always about turnovers. It seems like, I mean, they were +3 last week. That's why they won.
Yeah.
And they had 8 turnovers in the first 5 games, and that's why they had, some close defeats. So take care of the ball.
Got to get those turnovers, take care of the ball. Don't let Chris Jones beat you on the line like he did last year. That's definitely one of the priority, is trying to figure out how to stop, Chris Jones. And Kittle said it earlier, they're going to give him the Aaron Donald treatment, most likely. Don't turn the ball over. Brock Purdy's got to protect the ball. I'm pretty sure, like you said, Chiefs are going to try to force the Niners to throw and throw on their corners. They got Trent McDuffie's amazing. So they're gonna play that. And they're also going to make sure that Patrick Mahomes plays like Patrick Mahomes, and he's, spurring the Niners over the years. If you're the Niners, you can't give Mahomes opportunities. You can't give him second chances. At the end of the day, don't let Mahomes hang around. The Niners have let teams hang around too much this year. If they let the Chiefs hang around, that's bad news. That's bad news. So they just got to be able to control the ball and not turn the ball over. It's easier said than done. The Chiefs always find a way. They're banged up, but they still got some good players. Kelsey, Xavier Worthy, Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be a battle, Larry. But I think the Niners are going to come out and win this game and give the Chiefs their first loss of the season. But it's going to be tough.
Wow, really?
I do.
You like the Niners to finally conquer the Chiefs?
I don't know why. I've said it all week, and I'm going to stick with it. I got a gut feeling this is going to be the Niners' first victory against Kansas City since 2014. The last time the Niners beat them, it was Alex Smith versus Kaepernick. Harbaugh's last season. Brandon Lloyd was making circus catches. Stevie Johnson got a touchdown. That game was crazy. I was at that game. I used to live in Vegas, and I came down for this game, and they didn't disappoint me. So that's the last time I watched the Chiefs lose to the Niners. It was 2014. Wild times.